What's up guys, welcome back to Let's Play Basara 2! We're moving on to our final character, and that is the biggest, strongest man in the Warring States, Toyotomi Hideyoshi. So, first things first with Hideyoshi, he's got to go take care of pretty much everyone that he, ironically, allied himself with in the anime. The anime has a habit of mixing and matching the pairings for who is allied with who. In the games, which is interesting, and sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. In the case of Basara 2, the anime's plot, it definitely worked out better, the factions that allied with him and the ones that didn't, because they all had their specific reasons. So, Toyotomi Hideyoshi in history actually has quite a important and luxurious role to play in the Sengoku era. So, he was the one that basically finished what Nobunaga started, and conquered the country until he was also inevitably killed. But he actually had control of it for quite a while, and it was his son was supposed to succeed him until the rest of his followers had other plans, so his son is not in this game, unfortunately. So, look at the Maeda clan, they're so happy and in love, Toshiee and Matsu. We're going to have to beat the crap out of them as a result. So this map is going to be, it's sort of similar to when we fought them in the first game, but it's going to end up turning into a big wild goose chase pretty soon. So we have to fight both of them at the same time. They both have their separate health bars as usual. So again, they were allied with Hideyoshi in the anime, which is kind of what led to the big point of contention with Keiji, because Keiji always opposes the main villain, more personally opposed Hideyoshi, whereas he more so morally opposed Nobunaga. And then his family just happens to ally themselves with the villain out of necessity, mainly because I don't think they're a very powerful. They're not considered a very powerful faction in the anime, in the Basara franchise in general, I should say. Even though Maeda Toshiee was a very influential figure. Maeda Toshiee was one of Hideyoshi's successors, one of his very close allies, who was going to basically decide, who was going to succeed him if he died, which, again, led to drama that we'll get to in Basara 3 very soon. Alright, so after depleting them to a certain amount of health, they're going to split up and start running circles around the map, which is really infuriating. So we're going to have to go track them down, and we'll slowly run into them. You can see their locations on the map if you pause, but we have the sort of the mini-map displayed where you can just kind of look and see where they've gotten themselves off to. But anyway, so Hideyoshi in terms of gameplay is actually quite a lot of fun to play as. He's almost as overpowered as you would think. Obviously he's not going to be quite as powerful just because he has to actually be somewhat balanced in terms of gameplay. But he's pretty good. So he fights with his fists. He has just regular gauntlets. And he's like friggin' 12 feet tall. He's enormous. His secondary attacks includes he can actually pick up a guy and just sort of flail him into the ground. There's lots of grapple maneuvers like that. His Basara attack is pretty obscene. He's just extremely powerful. We're going to try to demonstrate. There we go. So we picked up a guy. We're going to beat this motherfucker with another motherfucker, as the saying goes. It's pretty hilarious, but it's also very powerful. So the more we can get rid of these command units throughout the map, the easier time we'll have intercepting the two lovers whenever they pass by us. So I really am curious to know what could be going on in the story in this in the context of the game for this part, because it's interesting to think about why he would get into a squabble with them, especially considering that, like I said, not even just in the context of the anime, but which obviously I gotta remind you guys, I keep referencing the anime, but the game did come first, so this is more so the plot how it was intended, but I just feel like the anime is a better adaptation of the story, I guess. It's a more enjoyable way to consume just the story. But it's just kind of widely known that Hideyoshi was allies with them, so I don't understand why this is happening. Oh dear. Now if you look at the map there was a bunch of look like little tent things that spawned there. I'm not sure what that was for. Alright, we found Matsu, so let's see if we can finish her off. She's going to keep trying to run away from us, which is really aggravating. But we hopefully can catch up. Oh, if I can figure out which way she went. Great, she's already getting away. The Maeda family fights in this game using weird special attacks that use animals. For instance, these birds. They also use things like wild boars to attack us. We're going to go ahead and use our Basara attack here on Toshiee in hopes of taking him out. I feel like I should be making more wrestling puns. All those pile drivers and things like that. I'm sure I'll think of some later on. Yeah, Toshiee is hauling ass out of here. He wants nothing to do with this. But yeah, the first game, they didn't really develop the fighting styles for Toshiee and Matsu. They were very generic. In fact, Matsu was just a clone of Kenshin. But now they actually gave them... Toshiee was alright. I've actually contemplated playing as him in the first game. But now they actually gave Matsu Naginata and a unique fighting style, and they both use animals to attack, like I said. Which, again, will really only get annoying when we get to the Basara 3 engine games. So 3 and 4, those two are going to be quite annoying to fight. Nothing we can't handle, they're just kind of unpredictable. Alright, now we've got you cornered. You're not going anywhere. So yeah, more about Hideyoshi. So, Hideyoshi is the best villain in the Basara series, bar none. He is incredible. And his involvement not only in the story of the games, but in the anime as well, is just awesome. He has probably one of the most badass entrances of any villain in any anime ever, regardless of genre. And, you know, Nobunaga's entrance was amazing, but Hideyoshi just finds a way to top that. Like, as over-the-top as Nobunaga was, he was fairly generic, and so for Hideyoshi they had to make him incredibly overpowered in a very shonen, you know, over-the-top, almost Dragon Ball type of way, but also make him interesting and, you know, make he was a threatening character not just because of how strong he was, but the fact he was also a tactical genius. So he would actually strategize instead of just trying to overcome everything with brute force. And to no short credit of Takanaka Hanbei for creating a lot of his brilliant strategies, where he basically had the entire country under his control from the beginning, just by coming out of nowhere and just seizing control right out from under everyone.